Hey, and welcome to this video. My name is Nina, and I do not have a better intro or some better footage for the intro for you today, so that's all you're gonna get. So you've read the title, so without further babbling on, let's just jump right into this video. So I'm going to start out by extending the clip that we did last time to create a little rooftop lookout that we are going to be viewing an abandoned village kind of from. While I'm doing that, let me just start off by saying what the fuck, this thing took me so long. I was losing my mind and I was about to throw my bloody controller into my PC or my screen of the PC. It was so frustrating to build this. It was even more frustrating to edit all of this. So I am so sorry if this video comes out late and if we do not have a video on Tuesday, because this was just mind-boggling to me, and it was something else. So with all of that frustration out of the way, welcome to this video, my love. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. I really hope you're well. For today's build, we had really bumpy start, but it just fits this build because it was a struggle to figure this out. We did get there in the end, and I feel like with this island, with every build that I'm doing, I'm just more and more proud of every single build. So last time, the last build was my favorite build on the island, even though it was just the second, and now this one is my favorite build of the island. So I'm really proud of this one, and I think you can say that about yourself. You know, you just have to, you know, if you're happy with something, why shouldn't you share it? Right? Yes. Alrighty, so I just extended the cliff and I built some cliffs to the right and to the left side of our little viewing deck, because they will act as buildings, as well as this thingy that I'm trying to plan out down here. Now, in the beginning, I thought it would be fun to maybe add a villager house right as you like kind of enter the city. It would be nice to have that element as the first impression of this island and the town, but it just I wasn't really vibing with it. So I decided to create a fake building, and I'm just flopping down some random shapes without rounding the cliffs, because again, those are going to be buildings that we're going to be covering everything in storefronts and the retro, can't remember what it's called. I'm going to call it the rusty thingy, okay? Thank you very much. So we're going to use the rusty thingy and the storefronts in the light wood, and I think the dark wood, because I feel like they go very well together. I was also toying with the idea of maybe implementing some castle walls and some medieval building sites, but they just kind of look too new to me. So yeah, I didn't end up using them in the end. And now it was time for me again to lay down some in-game pathing, my favorite part of every single build. Love that for us. Also, you will get some ASMR now, because I didn't cut out the little waiting section of me standing around, so you will get some ASMR of my keyboard. Isn't that lovely? With all of that out of the way, we are starting to create the buildings. So I'm going to be building a building to the left here that's going to be made out of the storefronts, and I think mainly the lightwood storefronts on the bottom, and then later we will be slapping some dark wood storefronts at the top. No particular reason, I just thought I would mix it up a little bit so that it's not all gonna be too same matchy, because I'm not here for that. And then this building that we're going to be standing on is going to be made out of some rusty materials, so I thought this could maybe be a garage or something, or a garage. I'm not sure what you would like to pronounce that. But yeah, I'm also probably going to be editing the city that we've already built and just sprinkle in some more rusty elements to just go with this thingy that we're going to be building today, because I have decided that we will have some modern elements, so some abandoned cars and yachts and whatnot, just because I love the items so much. And I've said it before, this is not going to make sense, and not everything is going to like match the uncharted wilderness section of this island, because obviously it wouldn't be uncharted if someone lived here, but it's supposed to look like it's Uncharted, like the wilderness side, and then we have this abandoned village. Just two aesthetics that I thought would look cute together. So we're just gonna vibe with that. Thank you. Also a lot of vibes today. I hate that. I hate that so much. Anyways, we're gonna move on. We are going to be creating another garage to the right side here, because for some reason that was one of the main parts that was like very set in my brain when I started. I wanted a like a metal looking garage kind of thing, kind of like maybe a mechanic kind of had his little shop here, so maybe they could, you know, work on some cars and whatnot. So we're also going to plop on a car in later there. So we will be covering the sides of this garage kind of in the rusty thingies, just to again bring this kind of mechanic vibe in a bit more. I felt like they would look a lot better and fit the theme a little bit better than the wooden storefronts. And then you just saw me terraform one tile, and that was just because I went to check, because we haven't even worked and mentioned the main key kind of thingy that is going to be visible throughout this entire build, because I wanted to obviously create a little street that you would walk through, and I wanted there to be like an abandoned clock tower in the distance, because as I've said before, feeling very inspired by the Uncharted games, specifically Uncharted 4, I think it was 4, right? The last one. And they had like so many beautiful tall buildings and clock towers that you had to climb and whatnot. So I thought that would be a very cute idea. I was also toying with the idea of maybe just not having like a ladder leading down to this street, and you would have to like hop from building to building to get around on the island. But I felt like that would be kind of difficult to work with, because you would want the buildings to look realistic, but obviously... Welcome to I started a YouTube channel in English for some reason, even though it's not my first language. Still, I continue to put out weekly content online and give you permanent brain damage. You would have to have them, oh my god, I'm really struggling with my words right now. You would need to have them as close to one another as possible, but we would also want the size of the buildings to be covered in something, so you wouldn't be able to hop like over. So I just completely scratched that and I'm just really enjoying like walking through the street. So that's what we did, and what I am doing right now. To the left, this little building is going to be shuffled around quite a bit, like the one that's to the left of the rooftop thingy that we started in our last build. I kind of extended that when we started, but later we will have, I think, a Azumaya gazebo covered in some of the rusty thingies up there to kind of like balance the mechanics garage that's to the right, so that we also had some rusty elements to the left. And now I am back to the little clock tower thingy, because it took me a little while to figure out how big I wanted this to be, how far I wanted this to be away, because I didn't really want you to stumble upon it right away, so I wanted you to have a bit of a walk until you get there. But since the islands in Animal Crossing aren't huge, I didn't really want to go further than this. And I think when I started, I wasn't even aware that we had the river mouth right to the right of this. So we will also be flopping in a bridge that's kind of going to be leading you around the clock tower, or like behind the clock tower, which I think could be cute if we decorate it well. Not going to do that in this build though. But yeah, you can kind of just see me playing around with the terraforming, and because I felt like it needed to be a bit further to the back of the island, so that's what I did. And then I'm going to cover all of the top of this clock tower thingy majig in this rusty code that you're not really going to be able to see, but I've really just felt like it would work, and I know it's there, so we're gonna use it. And then I flopped down this gazebo thing. Is it the gazebo? I don't know, it looks like a pavilion to me, but I think it's the gazebo in the rusty version. And there you can kind of see like the round kind of top of it, which I really love. But since we're all over the place, we are now back to this Azumaya gazebo building that I mentioned just a second ago, and we are, again, as I said before, we are going to cover it in the rusty thingy. And then I felt like I needed to take a step back from the actual clock tower. So I just went in and created some like rough buildings and then started to detail some things, and from there on everything just went like all over the place. So you will see me exchange some custom designs and then create a little group of items, and then I will work on another building. So it's gonna be all over the place because again I built this over like 2 or 3 days, so it was a bit of a shuffle around, and I wanted this space to look very big, even though it technically isn't too big of a space, like horizontally, like in width. It was a bit of a struggle, but again, really like how it turned out in the end. So here you can see me create another building, because I really just love the Oatmeal gazebos for buildings. So I flopped it behind the mechanics kind of garage because the corrugated iron fencing hides the hollowness of the Oatmeal gazebo very nicely. And then I just covered the sides of the cliff that's going to be the building behind the gazebo in some more of the storefronts, and then it was just laying down a bunch more in-game pathing, which I will do throughout this building because I just couldn't be asked to do everything at the same time, because laying down in-game pathing takes so long, and so far every single inch that I've decorated on this island is covered in-game pathing, and I think we might actually cover every single inch of this entire island in-game pathing. So it's going to be an interesting one for me, you know, not for you because you just have to watch, but you know, that's what we get. So I detailed up the street, and then I felt like maybe we could do something with the ruined arches, kind of like a city, like a wall that would protect you from I don't know, enemies or something. I'm not sure. I'm not a professional historian, you know, but it just didn't really work because it would have blocked the entire view of the clock tower. So obviously I didn't really want to do that, because then all of that work would have just been torn to shreds, and I didn't really want to do that because I really like the idea with the clock tower. And then I just quickly went back to working on the little street. So we are going to be layering some of this like mossy grassy path on top of the in-game pathing to like frame in the street and go underneath of the buildings, because I thought that could look very cute and just work with this overgrown abandoned kind of vibe. And then we're back to the back here. Back to the back again, very all over the place, but I am just placing down some castle walls and a castle arch. No, what is it called? Is it called a castle arch? Can't remember. A castle gate. And then I just terraformed out that river mouth a little bit better so that we can eventually flop down a little bridge there, because that would be very cute. And I'm also going to do that in just a second. But before we do that, obviously I needed to lay down some more in-game pathing, because that's just my favorite thing in this game, you know. And then I just started to layer this clock tower with some more of the rusty thingies. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this didn't come to me as easily as it seems in this build. I actually shuffled around with what to cover the cliffs of the clock tower in quite a bit, because everything that I wanted to use, like the simple panels, everything just completely covered. I just peed a little bit. Everything just completely hid the gazebo at the top, so I didn't really want to do that. What I did want to do though was to talk to our good friend Thomas Nookington and ask him to move some a villager house, cats to be specific. I also customized it, which you will see in just a second, and I used the kind of Japanese dark wood version of the house. And I also placed down this wooden bridge because I felt like it played nicely off of the light wood of the storefronts. It was like a nice mix of the colors, like a nice kind of compromise of all the colors. A nice compromise. Oh, look at me with my Shakespearean rhyme telling. Very lovely. They can see her house. Really in love with this house style. I feel like it works really well with this house, with this island, because it's just, I don't know, I feel like maybe the houses wouldn't be built out of brick because of the storefronts. Like, we use all of those storefronts, and obviously those are wooden houses, or supposed to be wooden houses. So I felt like I wouldn't really want to use any brick houses, so I went with the Japanese ones. But while I was babbling on again, we started to detail out the street a little bit better, and I just kind of wanted to loosely frame in this path. I didn't really want to use too many items, because we all know I can get carried away with items, so I just tried to like make this path feel full and complete by adding in some custom designs. We will also be flopping in some flowers in a second, and also some wheat fields, just to again make it feel overgrown, but don't clutter it up too much, because all of my items are always very laggy, and I feel like it didn't really need many more items. But yeah, we're already nearing the end of this build, and I'm just gonna go in and sprinkle in some more finishing touches here and there. But without further babbling on, I'm going to leave you now, my loves. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would love to see you here. Yeah, gonna leave you now again with a montage of this finished product. Take care of yourself. I'm going to see you next time. Maybe not on Tuesday. We will see about that. I will keep you posted. Yeah, bye bye.